All right, perfect. Yay, we are good to go. Thank you guys. Thank everybody for joining. We appreciate you being here, taking the time out of this lovely evening in Roseville. If you guys are looking what I'm looking at, it's not very pretty at all out there, but thank you for joining. My name is Cindy Lawson, and I am the Vice President of School Partnerships with Right at School. And as you probably just heard, I live here in Roseville. So this is near and dear to my heart. I am so excited to be partnering with Roseville. And with me tonight, I have two members from our team, Daniel and Richard. Richard and Daniel, would you like to introduce yourself? Richard, you can go first.
Yes, I wasn't sure the order, so I'm glad you called that out. Hi, everybody. My name is Richard Fuentes. I'm the Senior Area Manager for Right at School. I oversee regional operations for our programs in Northern California. I've been with Right at School now going on my 5th year and super excited to support all of our families in Roseville.
Hi, my name is Daniel Davidson. I'm the area manager for Roseville, currently running 3 sites that we have operating in Roseville, looking forward to expanding next year. And I've been with Right at School since September of last year. So I'm excited to help grow the Roseville and Sacramento area.
All right. And we're also excited to have somebody from Roseville School District, Angela Turry, Director of Your Ed Services for Roseville. Angela, would you like to say something?
Yeah, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Angela. I'm one of the directors in our Educational Services Department. And part of my role is working with our partnership with Right at School and our ELOP programming within the district. So we, as a school district, have partnered with Right at School to provide an additional after-school childcare program for our students. As we know, there is a need, a high need. Our adventure clubs have large wait lists on them. So we know, there is a need, and we are very excited to have Right at School coming into 15 of our elementary sites beginning in the 23-24 school year. And then Right at School has also partnered with us to provide our ELOP after school programming, which ELOP is our 9-hour extended learning opportunity that we are required by the state to offer all of our unduplicated pupils. And those that would qualify for that unduplicated pupil status include our English learners, our foster youth, and then our free and reduced lunch. So those 3 subgroups are under our unduplicated students, which will eventually, you will receive an invitation to attend Right at School as part of our ELOP program for free. So Right at School has really partnered with us in a variety of ways to extend our after-school programs for our students and have more options for our students in Roseville. So we're very excited about this partnership, and we have been piloting at 3 of our sites in West Roseville this spring, and that was because we saw a need with those adventure clubs that had very large wait lists, and we had unduplicated populations that were very large that we could serve at those sites. And so it's been great to be able to pilot with those 3 sites and really get our partnership growing and learn and what's going well, what next steps we can take before we roll this out to 15 of our sites in August when we come back for the 23-24 school year. So it's been great. It's been great working with the Right at School team, and we're just really excited to provide this opportunity for our students in Roseville.
Yay. Thank you, Angela. We have enjoyed our partnership with you as well. You have been fantastic. So thank you as well. So I'm going to go ahead and apologize up front, just in case we have any presentation hiccups. You think that by now in this virtual world going on almost 3 years, that we'd have it down packed and we'd have no issues. Sometimes we do. So if that happens, I apologize up front. And out of respect for everyone's time, I'm going to go ahead and get through the entire presentation. And I'll go ahead and answer questions at the end. But if you have an urgent burning question, please go ahead and use the chat box along the way. So enter any questions in the chat box, and Daniel or Richard will answer those as we go. And whatever questions we don't get to, we will answer at the end. So if that's okay, I'm going to go ahead and get going. Also, if you want to check in this evening to let us know you were here, for any family who does not qualify for ELOP, if you want to let us know you are here, I will have Daniel put that that link in the chat box. If you click on it, you can and you just let us know when you click on that link in the upper right hand corner. There's just a few bit of information. I think your name, email, child school, enter. That will keep you updated on Right at School information. It'll let us know you were here this evening, and you can qualify for a free registration. So, and Daniel will let somebody know tomorrow about that. So go ahead and click on that. Daniel, if you can put that in the chat box, that would be ideal. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So we'll talk about, who we are, what makes us different. I'm going to go into what's most important to a lot of families, which is safety and the things that we do to ensure children are being safe. Then I get to talk about my favorite part, which is our curriculum. After that, we'll talk a little bit about our daily schedule, talk about our staff, who we're hiring, how we're hiring, who's our pull, and then talk about our registration process, get through pricing, and then answer any additional questions we did not get to. So with that being said, you probably want to know like who is Right at School. So let me tell you a little bit about us. How we started is our founder, CEO, Dr. Mark Rothschild, ended up going to his daughter's after school program. And when he was there, he saw her eating Doritos and watching a video, and having his doctorate in education, he just knew he can do better. So in 2010, he started Right at School. And since then, we service more than 35,000 students across the country. Our local California, we have lots of local California partners, but I will name a few just in case you want to know, like, who else are you partnering with in California? So I had to write this one down. So some of our current California partners include Dry Creek that we just signed with. We will be starting with this summer as well. We're really excited. We're also in Palo Alto, Fremont, San Ramon, Mountain View, Wissman, Livermore, Berryessa, Brentwood, Martinez, Fairfield, Sassoon, Arcadia, Redondo Beach, Wiseburn, San Marino, Encinitas, San Gabriel, Menifee, and many more. But that's just a little look into the districts that we are partnering with that are very similar to Roseville. Our mission at Right at School is to inspire love of learning, support schools, and give parents peace of mind. Something that we are really proud of is we were recently named the official after-school provider for AASA. And I'm sure a lot of you don't know what AASA is. That's actually the National Superintendent Association. So it's a huge honor and something that we don't take lightly at all. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead, go to this next slide and show you a day in the life of Right at School. Let's hope it works.
Have you ever seen a child's eyes when the school bell rings? The endless possibilities. We're gonna do everything. It's time for after school, Right at School. After school is a time for friends and community. It's a time for new opportunities to test ourselves, to try out new challenges and build confidence. It's art. It's science. It's fitness and fun. It's laughter and joy. It's a journey of discovery and learning. It's all here, right at school. When you pick us up, you don't need to ask what we did today. You can see it in our eyes. We did everything. Thanks for letting me stay right at school.
All right, so I'm going to talk about some of these items in a lot more detail, but here's just kind of a high level look of what makes us different. So our staff, we are nothing without our people. So we try to hire the best people. We put them through a great proprietary blended training model. We offer them growth opportunities, professional development opportunities, and ongoing mentoring and leadership. So it's something that we're really proud of. Our curriculum, that is our proprietary curriculum. It's kind of our secret sauce. I can't wait to tell you a little bit about it. And then we are going to be there. It's going to be an after school program till 6:00 p.m. It's going to be extended learning opportunities for children in TK through 6th grade. And I'll go ahead and talk to you about what we'll be doing with our 6th graders at some of the middle schools later on. We have everything is done online. You get a sign up online. You could, for those of you who are in our parent paid model, you will pay online. So you could change your schedule online. You can send us notifications. So hopefully it's really easy. A lot of you have already registered for fall. It's really exciting to see the numbers growing every day. And so hopefully the process has been pretty seamless. A few of our administrators we've had go through and they said it's been okay. But if you have any hiccups, you're always free to call our customer service department. And I'll give you that information at the end, as well as Daniel, who is our local area manager. But we do have a customer service department who's there and ready to help you with any questions that you may have. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about safety. Safety is really important to us. And I know there was some tragedy that went on yesterday. And so it's really important that we do everything we can to keep our children safe. First and foremost, we put everybody through an extensive background check. So state, federal, child abuse, sex offender checks. We also check employment verifications and do reference checks. So again, making sure that children, all of our staff that we hire go through the most extensive background check we can do before they have them working with our children. Once they do that, then they get to go into our training, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But I want to talk a little bit about our procedures and our sign in and out procedures, as well as our daily head counts. So every day, obviously, when the children come to us, we want to make sure that everybody who's supposed to be in our program is in our program. So it's not just, looking at names and counting the kids to make sure that the same number of names on our form is the same amount of kids in our program. We do a name to face. We make sure that Christina is here. Christina is here. Richard is here. Richard is here. Daniel is here. Daniel is here. Angela is here. Angela is here. We make sure that we do a name to face. So we do those every 15 minutes throughout the day, ensuring that students are safe. The other thing that I really want to make sure is important, that when you are filling out your registration forms, that you have all of your emergency contacts listed. So all of your emergency contacts, anybody who's authorized to pick up your children, make sure that they're listed, and please, please, please make sure you have the phone numbers updated. I know people change phone numbers all the time, and don't forget to give us your information, because I cannot tell you how many times we've tried to call 5 people on a list and not one phone number works. So please make sure you're constantly updating your phone numbers so that we are aware and we can get a hold of you in case there is an emergency. Also, when you come to pick up your child, we don't know you yet. The first few weeks, we're just getting to know the children and you. So please don't be offended, and please don't be surprised if we ask to see your identification. We are going to want to see your identification to make sure that you are the right person who's authorized to pick up your children. And it could be that grandma picks up every day. Grandma picks up the child every day, and then all of a sudden dad picks up one day. We've never met dad. So again, even though the child runs up and says dad, we still got to make sure that we check the identification if we're meeting you for the first time. So again, just please don't get offended. Please make sure anyone who's on your emergency contacts or authorizations to pick up know to bring their identification so we can check it. So then I'm going to talk a little bit about, emergency disasters and plans. So we are constantly in conversation with the district about what their emergency disaster plans are, what their safety procedures are, in regards to any lockdowns, any emergency drills, earthquake drills, whatever that is. So we will work with them to make sure that we are aligned, and that we communicate proactively if there are any issues, and then we're constantly practicing. So it's really important that we practice these drills ongoing so that if there is a situation, the children know what to do. So those are some of the things that we do in regards to safety. And now it can be a little more light because I get to talk a little bit about our curriculum. Our focus is really on building children up, building that sense of self-esteem, making sure that they feel that sense of belonging. We're here for the long game of education. So everything we do is about building those attributes that I just talked about, that we know as educators will continue to unfold throughout their lives. The last thing a child wants to hear after school is, who wants to learn some more? Like, we've been in school for 6 hours. No, we are done. We do not want to learn anymore. So every year, students get to enjoy fresh new curriculum that's been written by our curriculum experts, who many are former administrators. So you can see here in this slide that we have different themes. And each of these themes consist of 2-week thematic units. And these units have focus areas. And these focus areas can range from art to science to music to math. So you'll see, for example, in this slide, students are learning about Roman aqueducts, and they're applying their design thinking as they build and test their designs that have been built out of recyclables. So the biggest thing this year is we really want to ignite that spark and that joy in kids again. We want them to have fun, right? It's so important that they have fun. And we want them to just be kids, all while getting to engage in hands-on, project-based, disguised learning. So the idea being that they just think they're having a ton of fun, but what they don't know is there's actually a ton of learning going on. And that's why we call it disguised learning. Every single one of these units comes with a curriculum guide, and it's a 30-page guide that set our staff up for success, that talk about, you know, what supplies they need for the day, what preparation, what the learning objective is for the day. It talks about this, it has a whole script, and then it has, you know, talks about what activities, script for how they do the activity, open-ended questions to reinforce the learning, and then talks about what we're going to be working on tomorrow and leading them in for that next discussion. So again, it's something that kids seem to enjoy, and something that we are really proud of. And this is a little look into our daily schedule. So once all the children are safe and accounted for, we go into our town hall, and that's really our family time. It's a chance to have a conversation. It's a chance to engage with the children. Oftentimes this is student led by some of our our junior educators, who are our 4th and 5th graders who apply to be junior educators. They get permission from their parent and their teacher. They got to kind of go through an application and an interview process. And if they show the characteristics that we are looking for, which most of them do, they get to be a junior educator, and they lead some of our activities, including town hall. And this is a chance to talk about community events, special projects, service projects that we might be working on. It's to talk about any special celebrations. And this is also our chance to let the kids know what we're going to be doing that afternoon and have conversations. And then we go into a self-serve snack. And that is really just that. It's a self-serve snack, again, kind of reinforcing that family communication time. And then we go into right moves, and that is 10 minutes to get that excess energy out. They've been in school all day. We do yoga activities. We do these dice games. We want to get their hearts pumping and that blood flowing. Just about 10 minutes so that we can sit them down and get their homework completed. We know that children are doing 100 different things in the afternoon. And sometimes as families, I know you're running 100 different places, dropping off kids left or right. Angela, I know your Tuesdays and Thursdays are really crazy. So I don't know how you got here this evening, because I know you're doing drop off and pick up as well. But we want to make sure that one less thing you have to worry about is the stress of getting homework completed. So we want to help them and assist them to complete their homework when they're there. Obviously, oftentimes we want you to check it to make sure it's accurate. And sometimes they like to do their reading at home. After homework, we go into our curriculum, which I just talked about. And then you see triple play. And triple play is really a longer group project. So this is something that kids come up with. Some of the ideas they've come up with is they wanted to build an amusement park. Another one is they wanted to build a futuristic city. Well, you can't do that in a day. So those are normally month-long projects that are student-led, and obviously led by one of our instructors, to talk them and coach them through the process of how do you build an amusement park and all the nitty-gritty things that go along with it. So again, just another little concept and a little piece of our curriculum. And then we go out for a more vigorous fitness component. So about 40 minutes outside, and if it's a nicer day, sometimes it's longer. And we always have a group game going off. So there's always a group game that children can enjoy and participate in. But if they just want some autonomy to hang out with their friends and do that, they totally have the autonomy to go hang out with their friends as well. And then after that, they come back in, and usually, again, some kids just want to hang out with their friends and chill a little bit, which is fine. But sometimes we'll have like a self-creation maker station out where we just throw random stuff on the table and let them kind of self-create. Or they can read, chill, whatever they want to do, but usually families are picking up around that time. So we know that it is so important to be entrenched in everything that goes on in the community and in the school. So we often join the PTAs and the PTOs. We'll sometimes provide free childcare during those events so that you can go and enjoy those meetings, and we will pay our staff to watch your children potty trained and above, so that you can participate and not be worrying about your students. We also attend school carnivals, walkathons. We do face painting during carnivals, pass out water during walkathons. We just know that the stronger our partnership is, the stronger our programs are. So again, it's really good for the kids too. Obviously, we know what matters most is our people. So we want to have great educators. So we hire all of our staff, at least the majority of our staff, locally from the community. So if you know of anybody who's looking to work with children, please let us know. The 3 main sources we hire from is we hire a lot of paraprofessionals and instructional aides. We love hiring these people because they already know the students, they already know the community, and plus we get to provide them with our amazing training that they get to then bring back into the school. We also hire a lot of students who want to become teachers. So if you have a older cousin, niece, student, whatever it is, who has a passion for working with students, who might be going into elementary ed, theater, art, any of those majors, please let them know about us. The nice thing about that is we know that sometimes graduates who are in their first year of teaching struggle mostly with curriculum implementation and classroom management, and they get to hone in on those skills in our program. And then we advertise it oftentimes, then they go and work in the school because they're already working with the principals. So again, it's just a win-win all the way around. And then we hire a lot of retired educators because for some reason, educators never retire. So then they can come work with us, turn that hat around and be much more experiential with kids, not so frontal. And it's just a great way to end their career. And it's just fun. We are happy to say that we have had some pretty good employee retention. We think a lot has to do with our training. So once we hire them, they go through an extensive background check. We put them through our training, and it's our own proprietary blended training model of both online and live training. These trainings include online assessments, in-person training, ongoing coaching and support, and continued professional development. One of the things that matters most is what our people have to say. And for 3 years in a row now, 97% of our staff said that they felt effective and confident within their just 30 days, within 30 days of their role. So we know that we are empowering them in the right way. Here is a brief look into some of the trainings that our staff go through. These are the, Daniel, these are the online assessments that they do, right? So these are some of the online assessments that they do before they go into live training. So you'll see, we'll put them through curriculum, leadership and coaching, positive and progressive guidance, bloodborne pathogens, and another one on here. We put them through, make sure that they have some training on how to do with students who might have some special needs. So again, this is just a piece, fraction of some of the trainings that they go through. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about registration. So let's go ahead and walk through the registration process, although I have a feeling probably most of you have already registered. So this right here is the main page. It will be updated with the 23-24 school year very soon. Some of you have already enrolled for the 23-24 school year, but we still have families who are enrolling for 22-23. So we're kind of doing multi-years right now, but this is the main page that you'll see. We have two different groups, as Angela had talked about earlier. There has been a federal mandate through the state mandate in California, and it's called ELOP, and it's Expanded Learning Opportunity Program. And that is for students who qualify for free and reduced lunch, homeless foster youth. It's free and reduced lunch, or who are homeless and foster youth, or EL families. So they qualify for what's called ELOP, and that has to be a 9-hour day, and they're in 6 hours. And then we have them additional 3. If you qualify for ELOP, you will receive a special registration code from the district. So be on the lookout for that. So if you qualify, you will receive that code for tuition, for discounted tuition and free tuition. For those of you who don't qualify for that, there is a parent paid portion, which I'll talk about that. But this is a registration process for if you are a family who qualifies for ELOP. You will receive communication from the district. It will have a password on there and a special link. You will use that special link and that password to register. So you have to use the link provided and the password provided to register. And then you'll get in and you'll go through the enroll process. It'll say enroll today. You're going to click your school. The link should get through some of these steps. So it's going to take you directly to the school so that you can register and have the password to go through. And then if you have another child, you can click on that and add your additional child in after. Again, if you need assistance with that process, we are here to help you. We have our customer service team, and Daniel is available to help. For those of you families who do not qualify for ELOP, we have options for you as well. We know as of next year, the bell times are going to change. So there's a little more streamlining. So TKs will have one time, and then K through 5 will have another time. They get out within like 15 minutes of each other. So if you are a family who might be going into TK next year, you can see the rates on here. If you're a family who might be in TK now, who's going to be in kinder right now, Those are after school rates are for kinder through 5th grade families. You could see on here that you have the option to register for 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 days, or 5 days. We know post-pandemic, a lot of families are still working from home and they might not need 5 days a week. And so you have the option of coming 2 days or 3 days, and you can change your schedule every month. So if you have a need now for 3 days and next month you need 5 days, you can change your schedule and you can change it to 5 days. So just wanted to make sure you know, we also have military and sibling discounts of 10%. So if you're a military sibling, you will get 10% off of your tuition. But again, we just want to make sure that we could have flexibility for you in these busy times for families. Registration is open, and starting on Thursday, August 10th, programs will be offered every day that school is in session for kids in TK through 6th grade until 6:00 p.m. We're going to be offering both ELOP and a fee-based program, parent pay program, at all of the elementaries with the exception of Kirby and Woodbridge. Is that correct? So we will be at 15 of the 17 elementary schools. So again, all 15 of the 17, the 2 that we are not in are Kirby and Woodbridge. Now for middle schoolers, for you 6th graders, if you happen to be a 5th grade family now who's going into 6th grade, here's what we have. If you are at, is it EICH, each?
Ike, yep.
All right, sorry guys. If you are at Ike Middle School, if you are a 6th grade student at Ike Middle School, you will be bused to Crestmont Elementary. If you are at Chilton, which is where my nephew is at, if you're at Chilton Middle School, your students will walk to Junction. So again, if you're going to be a 6th grader at Chilton Middle, your students will walk to Junction. If you are at, is it Buljon?
Yes, yep,
Buljon Middle. If you have a 6th grader at Buljon Middle, your students will walk over to Brown Elementary. If you're at Cooley Middle School, students will be bused to Fittyman. So again, we will make sure that we have all of this information for you, but I just wanted to let you know. So if you do have a 5th grader who's going 6th grade, you don't have to worry about that as well. There will be care for them again next year. Please spread the word, help us get the word out. We are so excited and we are thrilled. And I'm going to go ahead and now open it up to Daniel and Richard, who see if there's any questions we haven't answered. Have we gotten through them all? Are there any burning questions out there? And I apologize for my voice. I have just literally got back a few hours ago from a conference, and I think I had 16 back-to-back meetings. So I've been talking for almost 2 days straight and been kind of losing my voice. So I apologize for the harshness, but yeah. Daniel and Richard, take it over.
Thanks, Cindy. So it looks like I think we caught up on most questions. I did see a question about staff student ratio. So ELOP does say that our ratios are 1 to 20 for 1st through 6th grade, and 1 to 10 for our TK Kinder students.
So it usually averages out to about a 1 to 15 ratio, if not lower.
Yep. Will summer be offered at all? I believe I heard Right at School is only offered when school is in session. I'm going to volley that over to Daniel.
So we'll be offering summer session for the current schools at 2023 summer, and then 2024 we will also be offering a summer programming. We will also be offering various days throughout the school year, both non-school days or intersession days, as well as break days like spring breaks and winter breaks. We do have select days that will be offered. They will be both available to ELOP families as well as the paid programming. So it will be open to all. We will be at select sites depending on enrollment. So we will likely, if we do need to consolidate, be at your closest site. So it won't be like you have to go all the way across town, but we will try and make sure everybody's accommodated appropriately for that.
Yeah, so typically what we do is we'll find, like, if there's like regions, like kind of like, like different areas, we'll try to condense 5 schools into one. So we try to be as accommodating to families as possible. But we condense usually down to a few locations during breaks in summer. And ELOP, just so you know, if you do want to know, ELOP covers the 180 academic school days, as well as 30 non-instructional days. So the district will determine what 30 non-instructional days will be covered for ELOP families. And if there's any days that aren't covered, families are welcome to pay a fee to come to those days if they want to, outside of the 30 days that are covered. So you will have 180 academic days covered and 30 non-instructional days. But it could be that some of those days aren't covered in the 30 days and you are willing to come and be like all the other parent paid families and pay for that day if need be.
And then there's some questions about spacing on campus. So we use a lot of shared spaces for our programming. So most of our sites, if not all, I think are in the multi-purpose rooms at our schools. And then depending on enrollment, we will work with Angela and the principals to determine additional space, whether that's a shared classroom. And if
Goal
you
is that, yeah,
go ahead,
exactly.
sorry.
Yeah, I know exactly what Richard said, but the goal is that for the most part, we are in the multi-purpose rooms. There might be times where the multi-purpose is used for things like Starstruck or the school musical that we have to make some adjustments. But our goal, and this has been communicated with principals as well, is they are sometimes get requests to access the MPR, that our multi-purpose spaces are our primary location for Right at School.
Yeah, and all of that information will be shared through like a welcome letter that you'll receive about a week or two before our program starts in the fall, so that you're not in the dark. You will know what spaces your children will be in for our program. You'll get information for contacts, like who to call, Daniel's information, all of the logistics of Right at School.
And you see Daniel's email on here as well as our customer service email. So feel free to jot that down, Daniel's email and customer service, to reach out if you have any questions.
Yeah.
And then Daniel, I don't know if you wanted to put your cell phone number in there, just be respectful of the 8 to 5 time. If you would, that would be great. After one of our last calls, his phone blew up until like 10 o'clock at night.
And then, sorry, Cindy, so I just want to answer these other questions as well. So the maximum student enrollment is going to be determined on the need and the space available. So it'll vary from site to site, but we are committed to our partnership with Roseville to make sure that we do the best that we can to accommodate as many students as possible. Outdoor play is a good question about how we work with other on-site providers. So our goal is to develop a relationship with them so that we can work out a schedule and so that they have their outdoor time, we have our outdoor time, and we're playing nice in the sandbox. That's pretty much our perspective on that. And we are an aged combined program. So older students do work with younger students, which is why we've implemented programs like our junior educator program, where they take on a leadership role with their younger peers.
Now, if there is a large TKK1 population, depending on the size of the program, we have curriculum that gears down to our TKK1 population and older. So some of our larger programs, we do actually kind of separate them out by ages. But sometimes the younger kids love to hang out with the older kids, and sometimes the older kids are really good role models for the younger kids. But if we only have 20 kids in a program, it's really hard to divide them up by ages. But if we have large programs, we often do. And we have curriculum that will align to those ages. Daniel, you're on mute.
There's also a question of the sharing of this deck. This video will be posted afterwards for everybody to review, just in case you missed part of it or would like to look back at it for recollection, for anybody who would like to view the information.
Yes, we are recording this and we are going to have it on our website, and then we will hand it over to the district to use how they may like. All right, is that all the questions? Did we get through them all? I guess I can now pull up the chat box.
So there was a question about bullying and kids getting physical with other peers. We do follow a very strict kind of procedure on how to handle it. As far as bullying, we of course do not tolerate bullying, but we do have conversations with students to help create positive guidance in their behaviors, as well as we'll have conversations with parents as necessary in order to make sure that we're improving that. We do also try and partner with the school, especially if there are specific needs of that particular school, but we do have our own internal processes in order to make sure that every kid is getting the best experience out of our programs.
Yes, and I believe we're still registering for this current school year at the 3 schools that we're at now. Daniel, you want to talk about what 3 schools we're at now?
We're currently at Orchard Ranch, Diamond Creek, and Fittingman Farm, and we do still have registration open for those who are looking to do paid programming. The ELOT programming does need to go through the district, and so that is at this time currently full. However, we will be taking people's names if you are still interested to kind of figure out if we do need to expand that. That is going to be helpful for us for next year as well to determine what sites are going to need. So if you have questions about that, please reach out to me. Angela and I work hand in hand on ensuring that students who are eligible for that can go through that process and potentially join our programs should space be available.
And I do want to make sure that I say that you're going to be giving for ELOT families, you're going to be given a password to register. Do not share that password. We do audits all the time, so you don't want to share a password. Somebody gets enrolled and we have to tell them that they can't be. So please, if you get a password, and if you qualify for ELOT, please do not share the password with other families. And then PCOE students, do you accept PCOE students? Daniel, do you know what that is, or Angela?
Christina, why don't you send me an email about that just so that I can look into that question? And I can put my email in the chat box as well.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you guys all for joining. Looks like the sun's starting to come out a little bit. I see a little bit coming out my window, so maybe you guys can get a little outside time while the weather is a little nice. So again, thanks for coming. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording. And see if I can stop the recording.